Welcome to Canadian Creatives, a now digital network series that showcases Canadian designers and thinkers. Our guests share their creative processes, innovative projects, and unique experiences. Here you'll find motivation and inspiration for your creative journey. We'll highlight the diverse careers, collaborations, and communities out there for creatives like you. Now, recording from the heart of Toronto and hosted by creative director Daniel Francavilla, this is Canadian Creatives.
Our next guest went from dancing on the street to founding a fashion design business. Starting out as a trio of professional breakdancers, they used their talents to fund their fashion dreams, nickels and dimes at a time. In 2012, the trio founded AEON Attire, a unisex fashion accessories design firm focused on innovation and functionality. Today, their business has spread to 30 retail stores worldwide, with coverage in Huffington Post, Mashable, the Globe and Mail, and more. They wrapped up 2013 with their first Kickstarter campaign, raising over $52,000, over 20 times their original goal. Introducing our next Canadian creative, Wei.
It really started, somewhere really random. We were all breakdancers in the dance community in Toronto. Me, my brother, and Patrick. We started out dancing, and then we kind of used our dance to do more professional kind of career-oriented things like professional performing. We used to perform a lot, and then we wanted to kind of take it to the next level. And we were like, how do you do that? So we were like, why don't we use our dancing to fuel another one of our passions, fashion. So we came up with the idea one day to go to Yonge and Dundas Square, get some busking licenses, and raise money for an idea that we had, nickels and dimes at a time. And that's really how AEON Attire started out. The name AEON, it's a word in Latin, and it describes essentially like 1 billion years, which is basically timeless. And that's what we wanted our clothing accessories to represent. And that's where AEON comes from. And we wanted to, include some kind of word after to indicate that it's related to clothing. And we saw, there's companies like American Apparel, like Urban Outfitters. We're like, what about AEON Attire? So that's how the name came to be. And in terms of what we are now, I'd say we describe ourselves as a fashion design firm. We create accessories that are not only fashionable, but also uniquely functional. In terms of innovation and creation, I think that in terms of us, we're pretty lucky to be exposed to things like dance and fashion, both of which are very self-expressive, and it really is about the creativity part of it. It's about innovating, taking something of your own and kind of flipping it. So it's kind of what we want to preserve also as a company. We can really pride ourselves on doing unique stuff that bigger companies may not be comfortable in doing because they're so big and they do want to do like more safer steps. I think it's also really good just to develop as people. If you're not innovating or creating something different, what are you, how are you growing with your life? We actually had experience with crowdfunding prior to our campaign on Kickstarter. We originally used Indiegogo when Kickstarter wasn't available to Canadians, and the process is pretty extensive. You have to create an idea, you have to create a video, you need to contact people, let people know about it, launch the campaign, and then try to gather that kind of interest and fulfill a campaign, raise the money, and get the stuff out to the people. The campaign was for a line of leather gloves that would be completely compatible with your touchscreen devices. I think we're about 2,100% funded. It was a lot of work. I think that it's paid off, obviously. Also, it's something nice to have under your belt. In terms of what we have to do now, we're working with like shipping over 600 packages all over the world. to get people their products. We're trying to get it in before Christmas. So it's just very busy with that at the moment. So last winter we started a campaign called the Full Circle Project. And what we do is we've created these circle scarves. And for every one we sell, we donate a brand new one to homeless youth in Toronto through organizations like Covenant House, United Way, Eva's Initiative, etc. And the inspiration for the idea was really when we were dancing on the street, raising money. I think we were more exposed to kind of the situation of people on the street than normal people might regularly be. We realized that these people were in this kind of situation. And as it got colder, as temperatures dropped below zero, they'd be in a very dire situation. So we were like, why don't we do something about this? And we decided to create the campaign, and we're actually aiming to donate over 200 scarves in about 2 weeks' time to Covenant House for the campaign. So we are coming up with a couple of different ideas. We're coming up with the line of watches. And we're thinking about kind of involving a new technological aspect to these watches. So that's on our radar. So I think one of the most important things is the product. Like if it's not a good idea, if it's not going to provide more value than people are paying for, it might not do that well. So after you have your product idea, it's so important that you get the information and the campaign out to the people, getting different people involved, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, if you can look for publications or kind of like the role models or the people that have voices about this and connect you and can connect you with the people in the industry. That is very important to getting your campaign successfully funded. I think that our involvement in the kind of the dance scene, the kind of hip-hop, urban environment is always great fuel to drive creative ideas. We're always trying to draw from these early adopters in the fashion scene. We're also always trying to forecast how technology is being integrated with things like fashion. And I think one of the biggest ways that we inspire new ideas is to look at things that are kind of commonplace, regular items in fashion. And we kind of think to ourselves, what could we do to make this different, more updated, things that we would want. That's really where it comes from. In terms of the gloves, we were like, in the winter, what do we want? We want leather gloves. And we were like, okay, well, what's on the market right now? Can we improve? And we're like, yeah, we can definitely improve. So that's kind of the same way that we take a lot of the processes and turn it into something that's current, contemporary, and interesting. I think one of the biggest challenges with starting, your own company or creating an idea is the first thing is coming up with an idea that is proprietary, different, and marketable. I mean, we sat in Patrick's basement for probably like weeks, just coming up with random ideas, thinking about what we can do to kind of provide to the people. And that took a long time. It was only kind of when we went back to our roots, we went to see, what we could do to help the people or the kind of person that we were most familiar with, which was dancers. So it was only then that we had the inspiration of an idea to help them. It was the tapers. So that was one of the biggest hurdles. And after you have an idea, how are you going to fund it, bring it to life, get into market? And that requires a lot of money. Well, maybe not, not too much money, but it requires money. Whether it's from investors, loans, whether you have to work a minimum to make that. That's kind of the second biggest challenge that we had. And we were lucky enough to have, a kind of different way of funding our company, and we're very grateful for the opportunities that we've had. So if you guys want to get in contact with us, talk to us, ask us some questions, we love that kind of stuff. We love giving back to entrepreneurs. You can reach us whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's just at AEON Attire. So it's AEON ATTIRE. or if you'd like to go on our website, www.aeonattire.com, or just email us at info@AEON Attire. You can get in contact with us there.
Thanks for joining us on Canadian Creatives. For the show notes, links mentioned, and more episodes, be sure to visit CanadianCreatives.ca. Follow @NowCreates and @NowDigitalNet on Twitter for updates. Canadian Creatives is a Now Digital Network series presented by Now Creative Group. For design, digital, marketing, and media services, visit NowCreativeGroup.com.